speaking from San Diego today, where I have the opportunity of being here at ClickConnect 2012, and I have the privilege also of sitting here and having just a fascinating discussion with the founder and CEO of ClickSoftware, Moshe BenBassat. Thank you for joining us today, Moshe.
It's a pleasure, Kevin.
So I've got a question for you. I've been reading about, and I saw the press release about something called ClickButler. Now, to me, when I heard ClickButler, it sounds like Apple's Siri. You know, like a personal assistant, but it's for services. Can you explain what's different and what's the same between ClickButler and Siri on iPhones?
Good, excellent observation. Indeed, both of them are personal assistants. The difference is that while Siri aims at the consumer level apps and really addresses quite broad domain of users in a very broad set of scenarios, real life scenarios, by nature, the level of artificial intelligence you give to such broad agents is typically not very deep. Nothing to take away from Siri. It's a major achievement all by itself. ClickButlers aim at personal assistance for business users, and again, in artificial intelligence, the more you focus on a selected set of business scenarios, the more intelligence and the deeper intelligence you can give to your software. So we focus on the world of the service sector. People who offer service to their customers, and they go and service customers and gets allocated and travel routing and so on and so forth. In this world, the world of context is the same, in the same way that Siri acts in a certain way depending on the context she finds herself, she, note. It's software, but still we say she.
Yes.
Okay? The notion of context, which is so essential to artificial intelligence in the business world, is much wider. Like when we talk about augmented reality, you stand in front of the Eiffel Tower and right away it tells you the history of the Eiffel Tower and where to buy tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Or you are in front of Macy's and you get the certain specific sales for the day. Context at consumer level, lightweight apps are relatively narrow. It's location or time or maybe one or two other parameters. When you talk about context in the world of business, you talk about quite rich set of factors that play in. Like for instance, the level, the contract level of the customer, is it platinum or silver? The urgency of the job, is it like a gas leak that can explode the whole neighborhood, or is it just a simple problem to fix?
Mm-hmm.
And of course the traffic around you, and so on and so forth. For us, on the one hand, it was easier to build the AI element of the software, but on the other hand, it was much more complex and it required quite sophisticated engine. Two examples. One, we have the notion of the context board, where every butler of every technician, needs to write its data into some place because it might be relevant for others.
Right.
So we have a very sophisticated data structure called the context board, where all sorts of data gets registered and either pushed or pulled by the butler who needs it in order to be proactive and give the advice it needs to give to the technician. As I mentioned on several occasions, let's say you are driving to a certain service location. In most cases, you will wait until you hit the parking lot in order to search for the contact person and then dial to him, and everything takes time. With a good butler, ClickButler I mean, first, based on the GPS, it knows where you are. It knows that you are going to a certain location. It knows your contact people from the records. So it will prompt you by saying 10 minutes before you arrive. It will prompt you by saying your contact people are ABC. Click on the one you wish to speak to.
Very
and right
interesting.
there, you saved some time.
So ClickButler knows the context of the work you're doing, the task you're doing, your contacts, the service level agreement. Any other things that are included in there that it can consider as parameters?
I'll give you an example which is kind of related to this set. What about if this is a place that requires security clearance to go in? if it's a place that requires certain security clearance to get into it, then to begin with, okay, you would not have been scheduled to it. Now, if you were scheduled to it and you need security clearance, there could be, some compliance procedure that you need to take care of before you arrive or once you arrive. But in any event, it's a different context altogether. So the beauty of business mobile apps is that it must be aware of the full situation, meaning connection to back office systems, connection to much bigger databases to what's happening around you, and so forth. Let's take another example. The panic button.
Okay.
Say a technician needs to go into an isolated remote facility. He goes in. If he gets locked in, what does he do? To bed. Well, how about an app that says, I'm going in. If I'm not out in 30 minutes, do something. Do something. Who will do something? Kevin?
Don't know. Who would do? Somebody that's a friend close by.
Right. So first of all, let the dispatcher know that you are going into it, so at least he knows. But he may be far away, hundreds of miles away.
Right.
Well, what about your fellow technicians who are within 5 miles radius? But who knows where are these technicians? Well, if you are connected to one system that knows where everybody is at any given time, then this system knows who are around you. They are all on the same mobility environment. So they get the message. Guys, I'm going into this place. If you don't hear from me in 35 minutes, check out what's happening. And that's how you can go into remote, isolated facilities without being too worried whether you will be out of it.
Click Butler, the Surrey for service techs. I love it. I want to thank you very much, Moshe, for sharing with us today.
You're very welcome. Thanks a lot.